how successful were these respective states in exerting power into the steppe or countering power from the steppe?
Okay, I would argue that they were both reasonably successful. I would say that the early Tang achieved the most spectacular successes.
Yeah,
Don't think I can't think of a Byzantine equivalent of Tang Taizong really taking out the first Eastern Turk Empire that
yeah,
and capturing their Khan and all of that.
yeah. It's
And
a
actually
very
then getting those tribes then on board and
yeah,
then having them for decades thereafter as auxiliaries that he could call on for his own army to launch campaigns to subdue Turkic groups farther west.
yeah. That's a huge success on the part of Tang Taizong, and just a very interesting individual in history in general.
Yeah,
Yeah, but the ability to defeat the Turks and then also then recruit the Turks to your side all in kind of one move,
yeah, yes.
extremely powerful. Do we how sometimes some of the sources in Chinese history are not always don't always give us the best details about how some of these things worked or happened. But I do wonder what role does ethnic identity play in this the Tang Dynasty success in this manner, and because the Tang Dynasty is generally attributed to be a Chinese dynasty, and it certainly is a dynasty of the Central Plains, but it is also a dynasty of many other plains, many other places. So,
Yes.
so how do we really classify the Tang Dynasty? And
Yeah, well, you could think of the Tang as really the last and most successful of the northern dynasties coming out of that period of division. And of course, the if you retrace the lineage here, right, the Sui dynasty had its origin in the northern Zhou. It basically emerged as the kind of result of a kind of coup d'état
mhm,
at the northern Zhou court. The northern Zhou's roots are then out of in the breakup of the northern way, of the Tuoba way or the
yeah,
Tabgash way. So and of course the Tang leadership group really emerged from the Sui leadership group, which emerged from the Zhou leadership group, which emerged from the Wei. So and of course the Wei leadership originated on the steppe.
yeah,
They started out in the Dai region of what's now northern Shanxi, around today's Datong,
mhm,
um, and then conquered North China from there. So where I'm getting at with this is that really the Tang elite, really the top elite that founded the Tang dynasty, um, like their Sui precursors and northern Zhou precursors, were of really mixed origin, steppe and Han Chinese. And if you look at the ancestry of Tang Taizong, you'll see a whole lot of non-Chinese surnames, especially on the female side.
yeah. His mother's side, yeah.
Yeah,
So we have, and I think that a lot of people sometimes get hung up on the um, ethnic or genetic lineage of some of the Tong's early rulers. But I think that what's arguably more important is the cultural understanding that
right,
many of these elites had, where they were able to bridge and communicate across both worlds.
exactly. So the Li Shimin and other members of his family and of that kind of founding leadership group of Tang really were brought up in a frontier environment. They had really a dual heritage culturally, part Han Chinese and part the steppe nomad chieftain. And so Tang Taizong himself was perfectly literate in Chinese. He wrote a treatise on government, right, as emperor, arguing that you've got to balance the civil and the military. That was his main thesis, to have the state running properly. He wrote poetry. He had command poetry performances for his ministers.
Yeah.
And set the theme and everything, and then they'd have a time limit to produce poems.
That's no pressure.
Yeah. Stephen Owen at Harvard once described it as being like, imagine Arnold Schwarzenegger in a tuxedo.
Yeah, exactly.
But he was also a fierce warrior. He was a great archer, swordsman, and fought up front and personal in his battles. And he claimed to have killed or personally accounted for more than 1,000 opponents in battle.
Well, a big claim.
In one battle, it's said that he fought until his sleeves were filled with blood.
Yeah. Yeah. So this brings us to another interesting point. Do we know? I'm not as well versed in Byzantine history. Do we know, were the Byzantine elites also able to communicate with the steppe in the same manner? Or is this an advantage that the Tang had that could explain some of their success in the early Tang period?
My sense is that the latter is the more correct explanation. That certainly there were diplomatic marriages done by Byzantine rulers. But there wasn't kind of the same level of, you'd say, cultural dual inheritance there that we see in the Tang case.
Yeah.
So the Byzantine rulers, by and large, were really coming out of the kind of Greek and kind of Roman tradition, and not so much influenced personally by steppe traditions. They were certainly aware of, say, steppe tactics and the need to counter them, or of steppe technology and the need to adopt it. For example, stirrups, which I think they're a good case can be made that the kind of vector of transmission for the earliest stirrups from North Asia, north of China to the Western steppes is the Avars.